2017. That's interesting, isn't it? 2017. Well, welcome to the Daily Forex Trading Strategy session. You guys hot to go, HOTTOGO? Yeah, me too. Hola, Tin. Hey. Let me remind you that trading Forex is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, however, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. You could have been a zero yesterday and a hero today. Either way, don't risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Good morning. Good to see your beautiful, shining, happy face. I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning because it's 2 hours before New York opens. It's approximately London lunch. Good time for us to get together as a community and align our satellites. Can you guys confirm that you do have sound? Yeah, just, oh, good. Just because I switched browsers and stuff. Okay, good. So I do these sessions here at Forex.Today every Monday through Thursday, and every Friday at FX Street, where I am Forex Speaker of the Year. So the grand plan here is I use my years of trading experience focused completely on Forex. I share this experience with you with the overriding goal of helping you become a better, successful, profitable, patient, disciplined, and completely independent Forex trader. That way you can grow your trading account and grow your lot size over a period of time, not just a couple of weeks or a few months, but for years and years and years, we'll have a successful business relationship. I think that's a good plan, a nice long-term vision. So thank you for being a client of TradersWay.com, and if you're not, show some loyalty, dude, and open up that account now. Go. So you guys ready? Another day. Another day. Very excited. Seems like Japanese yen got ripper strong yesterday during New York, huh? Happy birthday, Eric. Yes. Today you should have everyone call you Eric. You're like, it's my birthday. You don't like Eric. No. Yeah. Happy birthday. Yeah, so wow, huh? Some interesting moves, good moves and bad moves and fun moves and ugly moves and all that kind of stuff. Lots going on. Great opportunities to make money, even better opportunities to lose money. How about that oil, huh? Just amazing, isn't it? Just amazing, right? That's a difficult one to trade, isn't it? Capricorns rule. Yeah, just oy vey, huh? And this is where people without biases really get caught, right? Because they're going to try to flip and trade both ways like a broken gate. But holy smokes, eh? So redoing oil. Let's just start over here. Is it predictable? Amazing, huh? Just amazing, right? When you see things like this, do you tell yourself, well, there is no doubt that professional oil traders use pivot points? At the very least, you should say that because you're trying to program your subconscious, right? Do 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 do. I mean, I guess we could even drag it to this, right? I mean, if we only use that old wick, talking about the one right here, drop into an hourly, right? Isn't that amazing? Again, just using that little wick, drop into the hourly. We came down, we tickled the top of that wick. La 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 la. Do you think it had something to do with Trudeau? Question is, why did the CAD get so strong? Well, remember, CAD isn't always oil. Yeah, you're right. Lots of monthlies in there as well. You only need so much information, right? So the Prime Minister of Canada um, sent out a message that he wants to work with Trump on redoing NAFTA. Go far back this one goes, huh? 2013? All right, let me get rid of it. Look at these old trade plans. They're beautiful, huh? This is June, and I've set it up so gold falls in June, right around the 1382 line. How lovely, huh? Lovely. Look, if there's an opportunity to build confidence, you should do it. That's why I do these things. Oops. Okay, let me get off weekly. I still have it, on the tip of the spear here. I have it dropping down to 1100. Didn't quite get there. So let's leave mementos for us in the future. There's that. There's that, right? So what do we want to say? Sell it at 12, sell it at 1250? Right? Is that a reasonable plan, guys? Sell it at 12, sell it at 1250. Drop into a smaller time frame. Nothing overlaps these areas today or even this week. Yep, 1250 is the next one. And everything else is not as ideal, right? So here's the plan. We probably won't sell this today. We might sell it tomorrow. Sounds like we have a bit of control through planning and analysis, huh? Cool. I would propose that that's a good thing. Da, 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 da. Amazing, huh? So CAD is the winner. I'll go to this chart. What does that say? I can't even quite see that. Down 0.8%. Right, that's USD CAD. Euro CAD down 0.48%. So euro is stronger than dollar. CAD is stronger than euro. See how you can start moving this? CAD yen up 0.66. Aussie yen up 0.51. So we know CAD is stronger than Aussie. Right? Euro Aussie down 0.27. So we know Aussie is stronger than Euro. So if you were thinking about buying Euro dollar, because it's a heavily traded pair and that's the first thing you look at and you say, hey, I could be bullish on that. If you did a quick analysis, you would find that you would probably do the exact same trade, but get a better result by trading Aussie dollar, not Euro dollar. So on and so forth. So pound CAD down, Euro CAD down, USD CAD down, CAD yen up. Even Aussie CAD is down. So right now, the Canadian dollar is 0.14% stronger than the Aussie dollar. Neat. It's nice to be precise. Okay, let's switch this up. What should we put in here? How about pound Swissy? Wow, 382 to 1619. Oh, that was beautiful. I don't think I traded it. Damn. Gee whiz, huh? How come I didn't trade that? That's pretty. Look how it came back to the 382. So it looks very neutral at the moment. And then let's switch this one. Buy peso. There's never goodbye in Forex, only adios. Loufle. Support. Right. Mm, 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 mm. How many times did you fib that, huh? So the part we got to worry about is, oops, should have connected the tops. This is the area that we need to be concerned about. I like to measure top to bottom because it is a retracement. It has made a lower low, right? And a bear is looking at it this way. So it's down until it's no longer down, which then it means it's up, right? So it's a short-term short to a long-term long. Moving in, however, we do expect some yen strength, right? Were you just flabbergasted yesterday right after my webinar? And we were talking about, yeah, we expect some yen strength coming. And it just went, like it was just huge yesterday, huh? Just like, holy crap, did every yen pair just fall off of a cliff? Just came out of nowhere. Crazy, huh? Crazy for loving you. Oh, so you're still a buyer, hey, 8? Okay. Yeah, I think this is going to fall for like basically the month of January. Oh, I see. Yeah. Bought it off the bottom, swinging both ways. Cool. So the new sweet spot, if we were trending, would be in here, but we're not quite trending yet, right? But it's all right to do this. You can see obviously it was more like the wicks, almost like a head and shoulders, right? Right, here to here. But your plan would have been in here, right? I'm sure you looked at 44.50. I remember looking at it at 44 thinking, want to, but, right? So not quite the guts to get to 45. But that tells me it's still bearish, right? If we're not even going to, if we're just come up here and tickle 145, not a lot of emphasis on getting through, right? Yeah, London Open. Yeah, well, the problem is London Open for me is 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went to bed at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So, I can't always be there. But still, the alpha on this is that it should get strong, right? In January. And this is the first full trading day of January. The yen gets strong, just as it was supposed to. So now, if it maintains the lower high, right? This high being lower than that high, it, in my book, will remain bearish. Hua? So we'll see if it follows through. But once again, it's nice to talk about these things 3 or 4 or 5 months in advance, isn't it? Sure helps. I think, anyways. So we got some pound Swissy, some pound yen. Because you'd think Swissy would get strong too, wouldn't you? This one is a weekly swing. If you're bearish on the Canadian dollar, bullish on the US dollar, you see that earlier in the week it was the perfect buy zone. It didn't work. Oh, well, there's news. Okay, didn't work. So, where do you go? Where are you going to stop swing trading now because this one didn't work? Thanks, Nick. Yeah, you kind of have to, I think. But anyways, down into the pivot and stop, right? Tells me, once again, Captain Obvious, tells me that professional traders, right? Insti- institutional investors and professional traders, those with giant money, use weekly pivot points. I like that. It just says, hey, this is the right tool to use. And it helps predict not direction of market, but support and resistance of the market. And so your alpha, your analysis, your bias, right? A fundamental analysis may say, I think USD CAD could go up or even should go up because you believe oil will go down. And or you can say because oil is falling, right? That therefore your analysis suggests this should go up. This is the right place to buy it, and your target would be up here. That is rock solid. You lost money. Right? My mother's gonna kill me. Right? Mom, I need another $100 for my Forex account. Yeah, until you clean up your room. Right? So, yeah, it didn't work out. That's why they invented stop losses, right? But still, solid analysis. And again, news happened in Canada that strengthened the value of the Canadian dollar. Sweet. Didn't see it here on the chart, but of course it didn't occur on the chart per se, did it? Is anyone going to read the Fed meeting minutes today? Yeah, and maybe post a comment on Forex.Today. So just so you know, Prime Minister Abe, Prime Minister of Japan, still believes that the economy should be his top priority this year. Huh. That's a surprise. I wouldn't have thought that. You would have done, I don't know, what else would you do? And raise taxes. He's not thinking about a snap election because it wouldn't work. Right? So the Japanese politicians are going to get back to work no later than January 20th. Sweet. I love 4 or 5 week holidays. Sounds like a great thing. Do you guys know the 3 arrows of Abenomics? Number 1, pressuring the Bank of Japan into launching unprecedented, aggressive monetary easing and setting a target of 2% inflation to support a target of 2% real GDP growth. Number 2, a deficit finance supplemental government budget filled with new public works spending. Number 3, program of reforms to achieve growth through stimulating private investment. There may even be a 4th arrow in the quiver based on a possible fiscal rebalancing. China is trying to prevent money from flowing out of the country. That ain't going to happen, huh? Somehow I believe George Soros is going to make money on that. Advanced Eurozone CPI breaches 1% for the first time in a very long time, but it's advanced. We could always revise that down later. Going back to Japan, Governor Kuroda at the Bank of Japan says that they're at a critical point to end deflation. Nice. And they will continue. I wonder if Draghi called up Kuroda and said, hey, you should follow my lead. You should do less for longer. I'm still baffled by that plan. What a baffling idea. I don't know what economic or political system that would come from, right? I mean, you might as well, if you don't believe in it, you would just not do it anymore, right? But if you believe in it and it's not working, you do more, wouldn't you? I mean, I guess it's like the guy on the freeway, right? His tire blows out. You should just pull over and fix it. Instead, he's driving at low speed on the freeway. Cars are trying to get around him and almost killing each other because this guy is going way too slow in the freeway, and he's hobbling on one tire. Like, dude, just pull over. If you don't have a jack, call a tow truck. But no, I'm going to drive this sucker home. Oh, yeah. How about, yeah, in the dark too, James? That's fun. But, I'm too pretty to do stuff like that. I would just have a tow truck guy do it. Or just abandon it and buy another car. Yeah, just get another one. Get a nicer one. Yeah, actually, those are the two that I'm looking at because I need a back seater. But the problem with the Bentley is it's only a two-door. And then if you go to a four-door Bentley, it's just way too big, way too expensive, just not what I need. But I did look at it. I mean, it's there. I mean, it's interesting. But I'm pretty sure I'm going with the Panamera. No, the Bentley is, see, they're too big. It's not what we want. Because it's first and foremost a family vehicle, what I'm looking for. Grey Poupon. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're just finding our areas. So yesterday we talked about, being ready to short the ends and that this would be the right time, the right place. And now you got to, envision in your mind, the thing that's going to trigger your sell. Is it going to be a, oscillator crossover, moving average crossover? Is it going to be a reversal pattern? So on and so forth. Well, we're still riding the 21. I don't know if you like the 50% having hit. Maybe it makes you feel more confident. Maybe this is going to drop after non-farm payrolls. Yeah, Ben, you're right. Drive that. Well, my neighbor has a Ford pickup. Yeah, lots of them around here. I'm surprised how expensive they are because I'm not. I mean, they're trucks. They're like trucks. They're just trucks, right? Um, but people spend like 50, 60,000 bucks on these things. I'm very surprised. I'm like, what? $60,000 for a Ford pickup? Oh my God, right? I'm like, I had no idea. I thought 25. I'm like way off. I'm like, really? Why would you buy a Ford pickup truck for that kind of money? Rah. Yeah, I suppose. What comes with a gun rack and an ex-wife? All right. All right. So, anyways, close. If you shorted yesterday, you probably got knocked out later. That's fine, right? But these are all the right things to be looking for. Don't get so caught up on the fact that maybe you didn't make money. That's going to happen. Okay. But one of the things is, that we talked about yesterday is being aware of what might be happening even though it hasn't happened yet. Especially if you're relying on my analysis to say, oh, Japanese yen's going to get strong and bring the Aussie yen down. Well, that's a fundamental economic theory. And there's nothing technically on this chart to suggest that. Right? So that's why you have to kind of be aware. You can't just be foolhardy about anything really, because as you build your own capabilities and techniques and your own alpha, looking years forward, you're going to have to make assumptions and get really good at recognizing if they're coming to fruition or the assumptions have failed. Bob says they're no worse than the Pan American, just different form. Well, when you look at all the stuff they put on the Panameras, you know, dynamic headlights, dynamic lane changing, dynamic cruise control, dynamic suspension. I mean, there's a lot that goes on these cars. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. So, anyways, it seems like a Ford pickup truck doesn't have any of those things. It's just a truck. Besides, your Ford F-150 doesn't have an eight-cylinder engine. Okay, just waiting for ADP. Yeah, Acura's are great. I just don't like the cars because now the cars, they look like Japanese Cadillacs. So we did this, we did that, we did the other thing. Yeah, I've seen actually one the other day, Ron, and it looked really nice. But 5.7 liter. James says, get a 69 Shelby Cobra. Yeah, actually, I've been on a racetrack in a 69 Shelby Cobra. Let me tell you, it was nice. Yeah, YJ likes the 911 Turbo. So like the Panamera, I'd get the 911 wheels. I think they make them at what, 21? 21 inches. Mustangs. Yeah. I was looking at, so Panamera has by the way, we're just waiting for news now. Panamera has a Porsche Panamera, which is just 911 with 4 doors, right? They have the Porsche Panamera Turbo. Let's put it over here. Executive Edition. Oh yeah. Oh, because of the holiday. Oh, I'm sorry. I think someone else put it in here on my mind. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense though too, because of the holiday. Good. Well, then we'll just move on. So, anyways, in the executive edition, it's limousine. The back seat is limousine size with like basically first class airplane seats in the back with, you know, heated and air conditioned and massaging. And they kick out. There's an extra 6 inches. Now the Panamera back seat is already big. It's another 6 inches. I mean, it's crazy. The kids would love it. Full entertainment system, completely independent of each other, right? It just, I mean, so why not get one of those? Okay. Yeah, so someone posted in here ADP, and I realized ADP, you know, being a Wednesday before NFB, that seemed to make sense, but that actually probably is not going to happen now because there was a holiday on Monday, so that gets kicked off. So average 30-year mortgage right now is 4.39. It was significantly less just 3 months ago. Just amazing how much interest rates moved. Typical too. It took a lot longer than I expected, and then when it happened much faster than I expected. And I feel like that's how the market is. In the last several years, it's really slow, and then snap, we're there, and you're like, what? Good, Nick. That's reasonable. It's not a jumbo though, huh? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you can grab another beer from the fridge without leaving the living room, it saves you the hassle. All right, so anyways, just lots and lots of areas in which if you wanted to, look for trades, there's some nice ones, right? You remember doing this, guys? Amazing, huh? Up to the next level. Let's get rid of this. Just incredibly predictable, huh? Well, predictable's good. Well, the bottom of pound dollar, if you want to do pound dollar, we can do that. Okay, pound dollar. All right. The bottom of pound dollar right now is what? You can tell I'm a college student, huh? I sound like a professor. So, the bottom of pound sterling US dollar is what? And you raise your hand, you're like, do you mean what is the bottom for the pound dollar? Because it wouldn't be the bottom of the pound dollar is what? Who are you? Anyways, hey, we're at support, and it's an S1. So what's the projected top? 124. Inside week. Right? Inside week, maybe? I mean, it all looks good, right? We'll call it 24, another one at 25, another one at 26, another one, the next one's more like, well, not quite 28. 128, yeah. So every 100 pips, if you're a bear, look for reversal patterns. Seems easy enough, right? Bob says, why not down from this point? It may, but then you're not using your pivot points. Okay. So you're doing a trending assumption, but we're not trending. We haven't made a lower low. If we were so bearish, why didn't we make a lower low? Okay. Now, if you were around earlier in the week and you took a shot up here, that's fine. Okay. And this is where you might just have it at break even and hero or zero. And you end up leaving pips on the table. But you're hopeful. That's fine. That's fine. It happens. At least you're trading in the direction of the trend, right? And you're like, well, why not down from the, well, and I love the language here. Maybe down from the weekly pivot point? Maybe what? There is no maybes in trading. So I look at it and like, no, it's going up to 124. Did I say maybe, maybe what? Right? No. Currently we have support at the support pivot, which predicts going up to the resistance pivot. I don't know any other rules in this situation. Do you? I think someone's trading this like a bottom. Now, if it hits the weekly at 123.00 and rolls over, it's your alpha, it's your bag, it's your decision to take a shot. But I think in that case, what you're risking is it just heads back down to 122. Okay? So you should take your profit here if that's where you're short. Okay? If you short at the top at 124, then your trade should produce this, bare minimum. And of course, it may just break out as well if you're trading in the direction of the prevailing trend. Okay? But there's no maybe. If you get a reversal pattern here on a small time frame, you can take a shot, but that dictates something that you probably will be, fortunate enough to squeeze out close to 100 pips. But I wouldn't expect more. Now, you might say, well, I believe the trend is so strong, the pound is so weak, the dollar is so strong. You believe it will still roll and make a lower low and continue down. Well, then don't take profit. Risk your profit, but at least it's opportunity cost, right? At least you're not risking real money. You're risking floating P&L. And that's your decision. Right? And those are the right things to be thinking about, the correct things to be thinking about. So Did you hear that Chile will not sell bonds this year? I wonder what they're going to do, huh? Hmm. They have enough money or what? Or is it they can't afford the US dollar? So today's LIBOR closed above 1%. First time since 2009. Rates are going up, Bubba. Have you paid attention to new car registrations in Germany in the month of December? Up almost 4% versus last year. 11% Audis, right? 11% increase in Audi registrations, new car registrations. Negative 16% for VWs. So apparently everyone traded in their VWs and bought Audis. Oh, is it because the company lies? Maybe. BMWs, same. Mercedes, up 7.7%. Opel's up 1.8%. I wouldn't know an Opel if I stepped on one. No, 90% that's what it will be. Not a 75 basis point hike, but that's what the rate will be. 75 basis points. So I don't know anything about Porsche. Come on. Doesn't say anything about Porsche. How's the Rand recently? Right. Well, Ryan, in that case, then the market's telling you they're not pricing in an additional increase yet. So you don't need to price it in for March if you don't think they're going to raise again till June. Remember how I've been saying all the last year that I expected a June and a December, but then the dot plots come out as 3 hikes. And I'm like, well, I don't know where the third hike is. I'm guessing SEP. So you wouldn't price that in if the money market you're dealing with would already have been matured, right? So you don't have to price that in yet. A 6-monther, you probably would. You'd say, well, I believe somewhere between now and June the Fed will raise again. So therefore, if I lend you money, you're going to have to pay me a little more, and it all gets priced in. Okay, so that's why you look at the different months. So, like for example, if I was going to loan you money for a year, but I thought interest rates were going to go up 2 or 3 times over the course of that year, as a as someone who lends money, that would be a loss. That's a lost opportunity cost. So if I'm going to lend you money, I'm going to have to account for that and say, well, you're going to have to pay me back at this higher rate. Of course, what they do in the market, however, is they just lend you less money. So in that case, Ryan says, all right, lend me $100,000. And I'll say, well, I will lend you $99,000. And in 1 year's time, you pay me $100,000 back. No coupon. That's what it is. Fixed income. Now, if you really want to have fun with it, then you have to discount the value of money over time. Now you need a spreadsheet. Well, in that case, Ryan, there's no coupon. I lend you 99,000, you owe me 100,000. So when you pay me back, I get my $1,000 profit. It's done that way because these are notes that don't last very long, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So how do you account for it if interest payments or coupon payments are twice a year, but the note is only 3 months, right? It's only 90 days, right? So in that case, yeah, if it was over a year, we would have to do something else because then I would have to discount the money over time. I'd have to discount for opportunity costs, and I'd have to adjust for potential changes in interest rates. It'd be more complicated. And that's why bonds on longer maturities tend to pay more money because there's more risk. Thing is, there's some good deals out there if you have a lot of money. So, for example, I've seen if you were to lend a major bank $1 billion, what do you think they pay you in interest on a yearly basis? What percentage is the coupon? I mean, the Fed's paying less than 1%, right? Well, how many years? More than one, less than 10. Major bank. I've actually looked at these, Joe. Seen with my own eyeballs. Read the prospectus. Major bank. Many of the major banks, right? But you're looking at $1 billion per bond, right? So it's a bigger crowd, right? Yeah, no, 8's too high, but 5 or 6%. Yeah, 5, 6. Definitely seen them in the 5s and 6s. That is high. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But a big bank, they if they want the money, if they want the liquidity, they're willing to pay it. Yeah, but you have at least a billion, at least. Very often, what they do is they do programs. So you go in as an investor, and this AAA rate or not AAA, A-rated top 25 bank in the world will say, "All right, you're going to subscribe to a program." What does a subscription mean? Right? It keeps coming, right? So let's say it's a $12 billion subscription program. You subscribe to the program. And let's say, to make the math easy, once a month you buy a $1 billion bond from them. And then February, you buy another billion from them. March, you buy another billion. And like Forex, it's all lines of credit, right? Right. Some of you guys have $1,000 in your account, but you have $100,000 in positions open. How do you do that? Yeah. So banks are doing that. So other banks are buying it from right. Bank A is subscribing to Bank B. So there's definitely leverage involved. So the returns are great. Or the bank needs the money or wants the money enough where they say, not only will we pay you 5%, but we'll give you a discount. So the $1 billion bond, let's say, that pays coupon of 5% may only cost you 900 million to buy. So now you're in the 5%, and then you get $1 billion back, which is another 100 million profit. Isn't that nice? Some people have to work hard for $100 million. Yeah, now we're talking, right? Yeah. So that's why it's so much better to be filthy, stinking rich versus being humbly poor. Yeah. Do 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 do. Hey, the Libyan oil company, national oil company, they raised their output. Hey. So on November 30th, they agreed to cut output. But did Libya not agree to it? Let's see. Oh, Nigeria and Libya exempt from production deal. Why? Anyways. All right, so it looks like I'm looking around, and I think the market needs a catalyst like New York opening and stuff like that. Kind of like yesterday, it was really quiet this time of day, and then an hour and a half later, it was rocking. So I guess we'll leave it here and regroup tomorrow. I know I could use some breakfast. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for posting your analysis on Forex.Today. I hope that it makes you a better trader. And if you're not posting, you should read some of the posts, think about them, and leave comments. And by the way, when you leave a comment, the author is updated in real time. Even if it's a like, it just says, hey, Andrew liked your post. And I feel good inside. I say, oh, that is so nice. But it'd be great if, leave a comment, think about it, talk about it. Yeah. So anyways, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being on my team, huh?